So for that, it is very necessary that we have the support of the policy and political decision, and the policy is very, very important there. The second is awareness of those who will implement and execute those policies, let us say at the leadership level, educational leadership, policymakers. And the third is it has to sit into our curriculum in a very, very nice way. And the fourth is we have to have a great pedagogical innovations. When we talk of pedagogy here, you will appreciate that the moment we make it an additional part of the curriculum, and then we start thinking of the pedagogy, that will create some problem, a little burden to those who are into the thick of it. And therefore, the intelligent strategy could be that we embed it into the curriculum and our weave around the curriculum and pedagogy in a way that these values are mapped very, very automatically. And of course, the fourth thing is how to assess it and how to find out the impact. So my first book was on the pedagogical leadership, and that whole book is dedicated to how important is pedagogy. Content is very important, but the a great content in the absence of an inadequate pedagogy will become ineffective.
What's the title of the book?
My Pedagogical Life. So the book itself is titled as my Pedagogical Life, which is not an autobiography in any sense. It is my experience with pedagogy. It is my experience with how pedagogy can create a huge difference in the classroom. So that is the first book. The second book is Inspiring Leadership. So there I have focused on the important role of leaders, how leaders, we call it as father figures or mother figures. Everybody in India in a school looks up to the principal or head teacher as somebody who knows everything, who can find a solution to everything, who is an inspiring figure, who is somebody one has to emulate. And therefore, if the principals become the role model for their institutions, that becomes a very, very important thing. And the research also supports, I'm sure you will endorse it, that a large percentage of the students' attainment and success depends on the quality of principalship, the quality of leadership. So my second book is devoted to that. But more importantly, your question demands that I mention it here. I refer to 2016 when we started this journey. At that time, we did an advocacy. We wrote several articles in the newspaper, and we gave a policy input to the government of India, that how government of India in its policy has to specifically mention about the SDGs and the global citizenship in particular. And I'm very happy to share with you that in the preamble of the new policy, which is called National Education Policy 2020, in the preamble itself, it is mentioned that our school system will foster the values enshrined in sustainable developmental goals. And later on in one of the chapters, it very clearly mentions that global citizenship is one of the values which will inculcate in our students.